Morning, everyone. It's Joe Waxman. This morning, I want to look at the chart of actor comedian Robin Williams. This one was suggested to me in the comments section, and it's a great choice. Robin Williams is certainly a beloved, enigmatic, hilarious character on stage, performer, actor. I mean, just a really extremely unique guy. I hear a lot of great things about him. And he's just one of the acting legends, one of the comedic legends of our time. 21st of July, 1951, 1:34 p.m. in Chicago, Illinois. Let me get rid of these now. Well, just ignore the transits. I'm going to get rid of them. There we go. Okay. He's got a Cancer sun in the 9th house. So early on, he was very, he did go very far in education. I think he went to Juilliard, took his education very seriously, and was, gifted in acting and performing from an early age. That was very evident. And he was brought up with, religion as well. So, the 9th house themes definitely were influential in his early life. 9th house is also the house of mastery. It's the house where we take our education to the higher level, in our performance, whatever our skills are. And I think he qualifies for that. It's in Cancer, disposited by the moon. Moon's in Pisces, excellent for any sort of creativity. It's still in the 4th house, moving to the 5th house. 4th house would indicate sort of early childhood abilities, despite the North Node being conjunct the North Node, which would indicate, sorry about that, later, something on my finger. Later life development, but still, anyway, moon in the 4th house is happy at home. It's good position generally, and it is moving into the 5th house. It's coming into the conjunction with the 5th house cusp. Pisces, highly creative sign. You often see moon in Pisces for all kinds of creative type people. And he was known for his improvisation, being able to do any sort of character, his extremely high level of energy, which we can't ignore. I mean, we might as well talk about that now. It's the ascendant lord conjunct Uranus. I mean, he's like plugged into the electric outlet, and he's just always on. It's just, Uranus is electricity. This is not just Mars, it's his ascendant lord, but it is also Mars, 1st and 6th house ruler. In Cancer, in the 8th house, technically by quadrant, but moving into the 9th house. So yeah, Uranus is that energy that is just electric. It's just being plugged into the electric amplifier. And so it's making his mind run at 1,000,000 miles a minute, especially conjunct Mars. It wouldn't do this necessarily with any planet. I mean, possibly conjunct Mercury, but Mars will have a more physical body. So it wasn't just like his mind, it was his whole body was electrified, right? That's Mars energy, right? And a lot of emotionality is coming from the Cancer, but it's still Mars and Uranus are extremely intense. Mars is masculine, Uranus is neutral. So it's not like an overly emotional combination. It's the emotions are there. Yeah, we get a lot of emotionality, compassion, heartfelt qualities with Robin Williams being, Sun, Mars, ascendant lord, and Uranus in Cancer. But he's not overly, we're not getting like a mushy sentimental thing. We're getting this hyper, beyond manic quality that everyone was like, oh my God, like, how can this man even keep up with this? This has got to be problematic in one way or another, because it seemed like he was just like snorting some super cocaine that was just not available to anyone else. But he wasn't on stage. I mean, behind the scenes, I mean, according to what I read, he was into drugs. He was into cocaine and alcohol, but not while performing. He could perform hungover, but he was not on drugs while he was on performing. That was all him. That was all natural. He was naturally like on that super cocaine. That's this ascendant Lord Mars conjunct Uranus, right? And the eighth house influence, I'm sure, was fueling the drugs and alcohol, attraction. But I mean, let's just look at the shape. We can't just ignore this tremendous kite here. Look how strong it is. I mean, it's fantastic. It's involving the moon, the north node, the Mars and Uranus. Again, the nodes, Venus and the ascendant. They're all in tight aspect, tight orbs. So this is really, really super powerful here. I'm going to jump around a bit just to kind of cover the bases, and we'll go back a little bit. South node conjunct Venus. Again, that's tremendous. It's in the 10th house in Virgo. Venus is debilitated in Virgo, but you know what? It's still good because the South node is bringing in the real talents and skills of Venus in the 10th house. It's making him, Venus's artistic skills, its creativity, its beauty, it's fashion, it's romance, it's joy and leisure. It's having a good time. And it loses some dignity in Virgo, but it is by quadrant in the 10th house, it does gain dignity. So it is strong in the 10th house. It is not good for Venus being conjunct the South node, but the South node benefits. In other words, very, very skilled, very, very talented. For him, he's suffering. He loses out on Venusian joy. It's not easy for him to be happy. And this is opposite his moon too. So it's dealing with relationships. Relationships are becoming very dissatisfying, especially as he gets older. Even though he's quite dependent upon them. Moon opposite Venus shows that for emotional satisfaction, which as he gets older, he's going to be obsessed with, he needs Venusian relationships. Venus is not just women for Robin Williams, it is women, but it's also any sort of leisureliness, so like drugs and alcohol or any kind of indulgence, like food, whatever he can get his hands on that's going to sort of fulfill that Venusian, Taurian sensorial, satisfaction. Venus is all about the senses, right? It's all about, money and good food and women and good times and luxury and wealth and all the good stuff, all the materialism. It's materialism. It's just it's living that good life materially. And so he's losing out a lot on that because South node drains Venus, and so does Virgo. But it gives him the very, very good, sharp and analytical skills for his own performance, for his writing, for his ability to be his own best judge and critic as far as what works, what doesn't in his routines. It's giving him tons and tons of skills. So very prominent here. And then this Mercury in Leo conjunct Pluto. Again, we're just like, really going after the same thing again. It's super prominent in quadrant because it's conjunct the MC. So to the degree, this is super powerful, this Mercury, right? Just by the position, by being conjunct the MC in Leo, that's like guaranteed fame, like recognition for speaking recognition. Pluto helps. Pluto in the 10th house is fantastic for career. It makes somebody obsessed about their career, just obsessed about working, obsessed about getting recognized, obsessed about being in the limelight, especially in Leo. And Pluto conjunct Mercury is that his mind now is becoming like this engine, this force, this dynamic thing that's just like obsessed with speaking in front of people, right? In very, very intense ways. Pluto is the intensity and the depth and the deep passion, right? Uranus is the speed, the electricity, the ideas, the frenetic quality. being plugged in, right? And so all these planets here are really fueling his career success. Like he's just a dynamo on stage. Saturn, being ruler of the third and fourth house, the expression, and then the early childhood, the home life, is slowing down his career success because all these things are pulling him into fame and, you know, just the world stage tremendously. And Saturn is slowing down his career success because it's in the 11th house, but it's also making it long and enduring, right? So he had this incredibly long, successful career that just got better over time. And that's what Saturn did here. It didn't stop it, but it just slowed it down. You know, he started off a little bit slow, got better, bigger, better, bigger, you know, movies, more success, stand-up comedy, HBO specials, all the, you know, specials, awards. He was like considered one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time because it just his dynamic energy on stage was just unstoppable. He was just like performing at a million miles a minute, like unstoppable, this just electric, you know, charge. And Saturn just made it endure that much longer. Neptune's in the 12th house, great for creativity. What else? So Jupiter's in Aries, in conjuncting the 6th house cusp. He was really into physical fitness, and that's one of the things that really helped him endure his difficulties. I mean, let's just acknowledge this grand water trine here. Water is so deep feeling that naturally, with any bad aspects, it's going to easily create depression. So he definitely was depressed even before he developed Lewy body dementia, which was the inevitable thing that drove him to commit suicide. At least if we're going to read the official narrative, I don't know more than that. Other people speculate there could have been foul play. There could have been other things involved. We don't know. If we're just going by the official narrative, it was Lewy body syndrome and he was depressed and he was losing his mind and he killed himself. But anyway, depression, definitely, with this grand trine here. And then Mars ruling not only the 1st house, but the 6th house. So the body and the health. Technically by quadrant in the 8th house, which is not good for longevity, for health in general, and conjunct Uranus, which would create definite issues with the nervous system, things like that, because Uranus and Mars both can relate to that. I myself have to be careful as well because I have issues with that as well. I have Uranus conjunct the ascendant, Saturn conjunct Mars by 11 degrees, so it's not terrible. But anyway, enough about me. And then there's this T-square from Mars to Uranus to Neptune's a little wide, Jupiter pretty close. In the 6th house, Mars ruling the 6th house. So yeah, we see that his Mars, which is very, very important for him because it's ruling his 1st and 6th house, is stressed out a lot. But the Jupiter here is great for physical activity because 6th house rules health, and Jupiter in Aries especially will want to, you know, be physically active, and he was, and that got him off the cocaine and alcohol. I think he had a relapse with the alcohol, not with the cocaine, according to what I read at times, but physical activity and health was important to him. But it's not so good for Jupiter being in the 6th house. Aries is neutral. It can go either way, but Jupiter is his enthusiasm. It's his belief system. Our Jupiter is what fuels our faith in life, our ability to rise up above difficulties and just be like, you know, like whatever you want to say, like God or the higher power, or just your philosophy in life that gets you through the day, gets you through the hard times. It gets damaged when it's in the 6th house. It's not a good house for Jupiter. So his enthusiasm, his faith in life, his ability to withstand depression is limited with Jupiter in the 6th house. But Jupiter in the sixth house is also good for serving others, because this is a house of service to others. And he was very, compassionate, empathetic towards the plight of the down and out. I know, he was very concerned with the homeless, and he wanted to hire the homeless on movie sets to fill in, various roles. He developed a charity and donated lots of money to charity. So that's what Jupiter in the sixth house. It's great for service and helping others, at its own detriment, unfortunately. But yeah, then there's this T square to Mars. Neptune represents hidden things, unseen things. And so that very much relates to Lewy body, which are, I think it's related to Parkinson's as well, and it's small bodies affecting the nervous system, small proteins, something like that. Also, the dispositor Moon, the dispositor of his ascendant lord and sixth house lord, Cancer. So we look to Moon. Moon's in Pisces. Pisces, also co-ruled by Neptune, represents those invisible things, right? So we can see that, if his health declines, it could be nervous system related and invisible bodies attacking him. So that's very much those relates to those Lewy bodies. What else can we say? Chiron is here. Chiron square Saturn. So Saturn gives him a lot of, square Chiron gives a lot of sort of responsibility towards helping the down and outs, the wounded, the rejected. So that's giving him, that's making him even more concerned with helping the homeless, things like that, because Saturn is our responsibility. It's our maturity. It's where we feel we have to really work hard. And then square Chiron, the square is not easy, but it makes him feel like there's a responsibility, there's a duty to help others, to help those less fortunate than him. What else? This North Node conjunct the Moon is very difficult because it makes him obsessed with emotional satisfaction that he's not finding. And at the same time, he's detached from Venusian things. So like romance, relationships, the women in his life, the joy, it's all, he's not feeling it. It's just like when he was young, yeah, it was there. He was like indulgent, like the drugs, the alcohol, the women, all that good stuff. It was there to a large degree because that's South Node. It's very active in the early life up until age 42, pretty much, or 48 even. But 42 is when the North Node really comes in strongly. But so, even though there's a certain kind of dependence, he's used to being dependent on women and, the indulgence, the materialism to get him through, because that's Moon opposite Venus. As he gets older, it's just less and less satisfying. He becomes very detached from that. And he wants emotional satisfaction through creativity, through Pisces, it could be escapism. It could still be drugs and alcohol. And later, he did have a relapse with alcohol, and then he checked himself into rehab and, as an alcoholic. But, he's chasing this emotional satisfaction, this super tight conjunction, Moon to North Node. And he's not finding it because North Node does not really, it's an obsession that never gets satisfied. So his Moon, his emotions in Pisces, and it's relating to this grand water trine, he's not getting emotionally satisfied. He's getting more and more depressed. And his health is taking a hit more and more because that's Mars. Mars represents his health because first and sixth house are health. So it's all wrapped up in his Mars. This nervous Uranian energy is just wearing him out. And so are these squares from Neptune and Jupiter. This Jupiter is not great. Neptune, I mean, Neptune in the 12th is fine, but it's still, the square is a square, and it's already having this negative influence by Uranus. Uranus is not necessarily negative, but it's just so intense. It's not like Uranus is an outer planet, so it doesn't have any, it lacks the physical, it's too extreme for this world. It's like it's all about realization. It's not really about health. You know, we'll need the lower, the more earthly planets, you know, Venus, Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Mercury for health. The outer planets don't really, you know, they're not concerned with physical health. They're concerned with awareness, spirituality, awakening. So it comes at a cost. You know, all that frantic, crazy electric energy is coming at a huge cost to his health, right? And he can't turn it off because it's conjunct so tightly, right? And that's where the humor comes in too, this Uranus, because remember, Uranus is the co-ruler of Aquarius, so it has that similar energy. And we find Aquarius a lot of times involved with comedians, but here it's just the Uranus conjunct his ascendant lord. That's really where the funny is coming from. Also, I mean, the South Node Venus and the Mercury conjunct MC in Leo, Pluto's just intensifying it. The Moon in Pisces conjunct the North Nodes, making them extremely creative. You know, Neptune in the 12th. I mean, so many things are just really, really adding up to create this dynamo of a performer. Incredible, right? That's pretty much it, guys. You know, sometimes people's brilliance comes at a huge cost, and that's the case with Robin Williams. This Uranus conjunct his Mars was the main factor, but like I said, there these other things too: the Mercury, the Venus South Node, the Moon North Node, right? Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. He doesn't have anything really outstanding. Oh, I forgot. Okay, yeah, this was the declination and the out of bounds. I think a couple of his planets were a little out of bounds, but nothing major. No stationary planets. It's just this configuration that really does it, and the conjunctions and aspects, like I already mentioned. So that's Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. Incredible performer, incredible, you know, asset to humanity. So thank you, Robin Williams. All right, guys, if you enjoy this content, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. If you want to book a reading, go to my website, macroastrology.com, and I will be back soon with another reading. And if you want to write in the comments any suggestions, please go ahead. I'll cover it as long as it's appropriate. So yeah, thanks. Bye.